How's it going, everybody? It's Van Tamar here. I want to thank y'all for coming back through. Um, since we are having certain individuals who don't understand history, which is a big problem with people who are stagnant, you have to understand what the Black Brain Trust was and what it is, and who the members were, and what the focus and focal point of what the conversation was. All right, listen. These conversations we tried to have in other places, but other places wanted to center the conversation around, the relationship talk and, the gender war and all that kind of stuff. So the people who wanted to be a little bit more serious about the things that were going on here, that's why we formulated this type of thing so that way we can talk about the things that we want to talk about. The Black Brain Trust was not about trying to save the community. It wasn't about any of that. It was talking about the upcoming things that was going to be happening within the country, whether it was political, whether it's bills on the table, whether it's technology. There were different things that was being discussed. None of this stuff was centered around the relationship talk or the actual gender war nonsense. That's what it was. And it's like people think the channel it didn't fail. The people who were doing Black Brain Trust stuff, we went out and did what we were talking about on these live streams, which isn't hard. There's the ideal phase, that is the actual having the discussion that we was having there, and then that was going out and participating in the actual things that we were doing. Real simple. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. But people look at success as, oh, well, you should have had 100,000 people in there. There's not 100,000 people who's trying to get their stuff together. There's not 100,000 people who's trying to get into these fields. There's not 100,000 people who's trying to do any of that stuff. In fact, most people here are here for the entertainment and relationship talk nonsense. That's what they're here for, because they won't guarantee consequences of dealing with the same people. So they come to a place here, the internet, to trauma bond with people who are actually going through the same dumbass thing that they're going through, because they keep messing with a specific ingredient that causes a specific level of consequences. It's circular. So you have to understand that the success that we have is individual. The Black Brain Trust wasn't supposed to be this 275. We wasn't trying to be full time discussing these issues. At some point, we had to be able to show that we're actually doing some of the stuff that we're actually saying, which is not the requirement, by the way. Hey, what's going on, Straight Shooter? So it's like there was nothing wrong with the brain trust. It's just that the actual things that we were talking about, we're now doing. There's a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes that we don't have to put out in the public. I'll just use me as a case. I'm not talking about anybody else's personal situation or nothing like that. Once the trade war happened, I had to change around my whole entire business outside of doing business for the military and outside the COVID situation, because that really brought me back into another level of the trucking industry. But I had to change things, and most of those ideas of the things that I got into was based on the actual articles that we was actually covering on the brain trust. So I took the information that we were talking about and I immediately put it into action and moved myself into a totally different lane of this trucking thing, because that's what you're supposed to do with information. You were supposed to, well, most people didn't, but if you're going to be successful, just think about it. Any book that you think is a very good read, the author of the book don't go pick up the book and try to hand you the book. You hear from the book from other people. And then you decide as an individual whether you want to go to the library or check out the book, or whether you want to buy it from yourself or Amazon or Barnes and Noble or whatever. That's no different than what the brain trust is. We discussed the information, then we went out and we did something with the information. Now, to most people who are stagnant, the information comes toward their face, it bounces off their face like pong, and then it goes back to the people who actually gave out the information in the first place. If you want to be in IT, the actual community threads are still there. The community posts are still there. The actual tech talks are still there. They're still there. Like anything else, you don't have to be reminded over and over again about the things that are going to be happening. They're now happening already. But I understand. When you don't stand for anything but entertainment and foolishness and nonsense, you need to surround yourself and you try to corrupt everything and try to turn it into entertainment or even to cover for the fact that you ain't going nowhere in life, right? Like, okay, we know the nonsense and the stupid things that people keep up online, but that wasn't everybody's point was just to come here and be stagnant. People wanted to do something else with their life too. And that's what the Black Brain Trust is there for. And it's not all black people who are there. There are people of other races who look at the actual information too and have done something with it. Why do you think I took all my trucking streams down? Because the people who actually wanted the information were Latino, Arab, and Asian, not really black or white. So I turned those trucking streams into actual products so people can pay for them. Because the people who I was trying to help for free didn't want the information. That's how that works. You got to be able to put this stuff in the action phase for yourself, man. Yeah, that's a lot of flawed ass characters within this space, man, who want everybody to bear the brunt of the simple fact that they don't know how to act around other people. Rather than just stating themselves, they just go other places and try to find other characters who's just as flawed as they are. Oh, Red Sox, man, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, MOT?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
No, I just saw the link. I called in, came in on the back part, and you basically said, hey, various people were looking at the information. So
yeah, so it's like they actually thought that we were supposed to be covering these articles and stuff all the time forever. Like, no, you are going to have to do something with the information that was put out there. That's the success rate of the Black Brain Trust, is to make sure that you're actually invested and involved with something that's going on here that's productive, based on the actual things that we're actually discussing. So I don't understand, like, you have this, these people going around slandering like we didn't do nothing. Like, no, we actually did something with the information.
yeah, no, I think like that's like I've heard people say that, but see, here's the thing: you have people who are basically saying when you were doing articles and stuff, oh, all y'all do is articles, you don't do it, and it's like, okay, now that it's gone on hiatus and it's pretty much died down, now people are asking about what's going on. It's all of a sudden dead over there. It's like, which one do you want? Is the entertainment and people talking about crypto and all this stuff kind of dying off now? And
Yeah, what's going on, Doc? Yeah, but it's like, look, man, this is why I'm not worried about most of these things that people talk about. I know. All I gotta do is just wait. You'll see what these people are about. So it's like, look, they're trying to take a space that is meant for something specific, and then they're trying to turn it into what they want to turn it into. It's like, if you don't like it, don't watch. If you don't want to take any action on the information, don't watch. And it's like, if you're not capable, because the Black Brain Trust did do one specific thing. You couldn't come up on those panels acting like you knew what was going on. You actually had to be invested and know what was going on for us to keep bringing you around. And see, in Black America, you can't create spaces like that because the spaces are supposed to be corrupted by the people who can't make progress anyway. That's what they wanted. They wanted a space to where, man, why don't you just, yeah, man, why don't you just say it another way? No, we got to compete with the dominant society here. And if we keep trying to ice cubify everything that we trying to do, we ain't gonna get nowhere, man. So that's the problem. Like, like they have no problem being the idiotic elite, right? But when you set something down and have a standard, people want to destroy the standard immediately. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's no, you hit the nail on the head. Because I think it's very telling, like you said, that you were able to take your content and monetize it, and people are now paying for it. That's the level of information that was being given out that people were taking for granted.
Yeah, for free. For free. But it's like how to get in the trucking and all that kind of stuff. The specific and correct information on how to do things, that stuff is worth a lot of money. People knew when things were worth a lot of money. You know what they did? Ask questions about it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm getting the same questions from the same people. And it's not even the trucking stuff. It's a whole bunch of other things on how to get in, how to get on. Because a lot of people didn't know how to approach the IT stuff until we started putting the links to all that kind of stuff. And guess what? Once you get your shit together, you know what you do? You roll out and do something else. That's for the people who actually wanted to do something with the information.
Yeah. No, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
No, I was gonna ask too, like I don't get the hate with that, and then like in general with your channel, like I've been seeing like chats where people are like attacking the Brain Trust, attacking your channel, and I'm like, well, where does this even come from? Like, no one's even addressing you. Wait, you cut out.
Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I've seen a couple of chats like the past couple of days. I'm like, people bringing up the Brain Trust and the Man of Tomorrow's channel. I'm like why are people even mentioning our channels? I don't get like what your animosity is. Like, I thought this is what they wanted was the nonsense.
Yeah.
Wait, you're in the Matrix.
Hold on a second. That was my fault. It's like, look, that's what it was. You're supposed to do something very specific with the information. The information wasn't there to keep talking about the same stuff over and over again, man. Like, at some point, you're gonna have to be in the action phase of what's going on, man. That's it. That really ain't that hard. Is that hard?
No, it's not.
But it becomes hard to hard-headed ass individuals who want everything to be about entertainment because they ain't going nowhere. So if you destroy everything or try to corrupt everything or try to turn everything into entertainment, that means that they still have a voice. We created other places so that way we can have a voice. And for those people who actually wanted to do something more productive with their time in life, that's what it was there for. And yes, you see a bunch of people here who's still trying to get live off this relationship talk when the women don't even want them. and they can't produce for the people that they claim that they want to be with. These people got 6-figure problems when these people are not 6-figure dudes. So it's like, look, man, it's not like the channel disappeared. It's not like the channel got flagged. The stuff is there. But the problem is people want you to actually make the progress for them and then turn it back over to them after you're done. Like, no, man, ain't nobody doing that.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're exactly right. Now like the whole thing with, and like you said with the brain trust too, like you said, there people don't realize what happens behind the scenes. Whether it's people just chatting, people linking up doing business, all of that. They think it's just what you see on a live stream for hour and a half, every now and then. They don't understand the real power in the network.
Yeah, it's like we built the spot to suss out the people who wanted progress. That's what it was about. It's not hard. It really isn't. And you had to be invested to be on the panel to talk about the actual issue. And if you wasn't invested, it sounded pretty crazy. Because there was other people who was actually invested in the same thing who are also on the same panel as well.
Yep, exactly. And then like I said, once you get that synergy, it's just like I said, it just takes things to another level. But I mean, like I said, you have people who use it, social media. I've come to the conclusion is nothing but a reflection of what people do in real life. It's just an expansion of it. Like that's all it is. It's kind of like money, as they say, like money magnifies you, so does social media. People listening to the BS, doing the BS in real life. People who are actually trying to network, move forward, make progress are actually doing that online and then doing that in real
life. Renaissance man, listen, they don't understand how easy taking action is. Taking action and getting results off of actions rather than taking action off nonsense and not receiving any type of benefit from the action. Yeah, finally you can take some action and the stuff can benefit you. What you do with it, who knows? But at least you could be in a better spot. And it wasn't that many people who wanted that stuff, man. It wasn't that many people.
Yeah, I mean, people, basically, really, it boiled down to people who didn't need it. That's what it really was. The people who needed it, kind of like I'm sure you heard a professor at college always tell you, well, if I give extra credit, the only people who are going to do it are the people who don't need it. And the people who actually need it aren't going to do it.
Yeah, and it's like, well, if you could just bring the information down. I'm like, nah, man, we got to present the information how it is. Otherwise, it's not going to come out right. Nah, man, we're not doing that.
Oh, man, it's mind-boggling. Like I'll never forget. I was trying to tell someone about I can't even remember what the topic was, but I was like, okay, here's a 30-minute podcast. Go listen to it. It will give you a breakdown. They were like, oh, well, that sounds too long. Can you just give me like a summary? I'm like, dude, you want Spark Notes on a 30-minute podcast that you could just like listen to on the way to work or like while you're doing something around the house. Like it's just like some people really don't want what they say they want.
And it's that, dude, taking action is easy. Once you get the results from the actions that you take in the direction that you should be going in, yeah, man, you're gonna realize all the time you wasted on not getting any type of progress at all. That's what happened in my case. Once I started like being really invested and really involved in this industry, I started getting a hell of a lot out of it. It's not really that difficult. But there's a lot of people who don't want this type of stuff, man. They want, they want the 2 years ago, 400 people in the chat MOT when I'm scything down dating code. Like, no, I'm past that. If you don't understand that these ain't the people that you need to be around, then there's nothing else I can teach you. There's nothing wrong with the brain trust, man. The brain trust works great. Just like any good book or any good information. It works if you want to put it to use. That's all, man. It's really not that hard, man.
No, it's not. It's just like I said, you have to want to progress, and people have to come to seek the information.
They really wanted us to like hood it up and like put on gold chains and yeah, man, like, that's what they wanted, man. Like, no, man, like, we're not here. We're not here to put like Smokey and Ezel on the panel, man. Like, we're not doing that, man. It's not. It's so not hard. But how can people And it's always the more educated and the more productive people that got to do more for other people. They don't ask for anything out of these relationship dudes. They don't ask for anything out of them dudes. They don't ask them for anything, man.
For some game,
It's,
I get.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Some game.
That's the
No
currency.
guarantee. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, guaranteed consequence game. Stockholm syndrome game. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Man. What's going on, Richard Dixon? Yeah, it's like, why would I want to talk in a format with people that I don't want to interact with? Why would I do that? Why on earth would I do something like that?
Yeah, true. The information is not presented in a hood enough manner.
Yeah,
That's where we are.
yeah, man. We got to
Not,
pose and
not,
fold
not
our
enough to inform
arms.
people.
Nah, man.
Not enough to inform people. We got to entertain them as well.
Yeah, it's like, look, if you're gonna compete with the dominant society, you gotta let that stuff go, man. Like a lot of people are trying to fit into this character, and this character hasn't worked within their life forever. Everybody want to jump online and be Corey Holcomb or Patrice O'Neill or
Yeah.
Bernie Mac online. Just no individuality, nothing. They just want to live up to an avatar, man. They're just like, hey, man, I don't feel like the information is for me because there was no what's ups and yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, no, man, we're not here to do that, man. The correct information don't take all day to present, man. It will take all day if you keep trying to dumb it down, man. Nobody doing that. Nah, man. They want us to swag it up, man. Nah, man, that's not what's happening.
Not at all. I mean, I was gonna say I'll give you another one because I mean, I was listening the other day. They were talking about the trucking shortage and like how basically pretty much they're saying people are like leaving one company and like the next day or 2 days have another job. And I'm like, if you go back and listen to Brain Trust streams, I remember it may have been like 2019.
Yeah.
Basically, I think if you want to get into trucking, like never going. And it's like, imagine if you took that advice where you could be right now.
Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, right now you've been in a position where you can buy a truck and make 8-9 racks a week.
Yeah.
If you would have put it in action, or else, if you started your help desk job, you got a couple of certifications, you are somewhere else right now because you moved toward the money. You didn't try to make the money appropriate where you are. That's another thing where people mess up at. Listen, man. Sometimes, man, you got to leave that damn town if you want to get paid, because everything is not going to be presented in a format to where it's going to be there for you. Hey, I fell victim to that shit. Man, look, I should have moved to the Midwest. Should have moved to the Midwest when I had the chance, and I ended up losing everything. Why? I was trying to hold down Denver, Colorado. Now I'm back, but it's like at that point in time, I wasn't exempt from the consequences. Consequences was very particular and very specific.
Nah, I know the same thing. I mean, I always think about for me, like moving as I can't even tell you how much it's. I can say this. Like I moved, like moving out of the state after I graduated college, and then moving from Atlanta up here to DC. Just that move alone probably has netted me probably 30,000, 40,000 extra dollars a year over the past like 2-3 years. Like not, and I mean like annually, not like, and I'm talking about like salary increase just over time. Like just from going from one area where there wasn't as much demand for what I was doing to another area. Like, and it's just like I was actually reaching out, and I am another person who I used to work with. And I was literally just looking like, dang, it's been like 3 to 4 years since I like seen this person, and like they still doing the same exact thing. Granted, they being productive, but it's just like you don't realize what you're missing out on just by, like you said, staying in one place and not really moving to where the opportunity is. And then the other thing is, like, so you can speak to it too, that opens the next door. At least for me, it has. Like making the move, getting that momentum. Oh, this opportunity, that literally opened the door, and it's like, oh, I would have missed like this opportunity and the successive ones had I just stayed where I was. Oh, looks like it fell off. Jay Sean says they want crypto get rich quick schemes. Yeah, I mean,
man,
crypto is complicated. I mean, I own some of it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of currency speculation, in my opinion. Just because you have people like Elon Musk who will come out one day and say, okay, we're not taking Bitcoin, we're not taking crypto, and then like 2 weeks later they'll say, okay, we changed our mind, we're accepting crypto. And because this stuff is not regulated at all, it's like you don't know how many people are really behind this thing manipulating the market.
no, I mean, because it's all about market manipulation at this point. I mean, why wouldn't you? If it's unregulated,
Yeah,
you can pretty much print your own money by just putting out stories and, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't mind being, like I said, I you can definitely diversify into it. Like I said, I do own some, but when you got guys jumping up in here acting like I got crypto and I mean, yeah, you got that one person who poured a bunch of money back in Bitcoin back in 2010 that's living on a yacht now. You got that story, but then you got plenty of people who they saw a Facebook post, they went ahead and threw a bunch of money into it, and then they're bragging about they're all into crypto.
Nah.
Yeah, Engineering Canada says Black Brain Trash should be rebranded to Intellectual Trap.
No, we got the Wall Street Trapper, man. Why not?
But nah, MOT, like I was saying, just opportunities. Like people don't realize, like I said, they build on each other. They open doors to the next door. So like, you don't just miss one, you miss successively.
Yeah, like I formulated this company based on not really caring about what anything else was doing.
No, not
It's
Jason.
not.
Oh, go ahead.
It's not so hard as this, job or career field is, man. You can make some sick money here, man. Like a lot of people are waiting on, like Jay Sean said earlier, that that wave that they can jump on. Like I'm not gonna invest. I'm just gonna wait for the wave and try to jump on that. Nah, man, it ain't how that works.
Yeah. Jay Sean hit this one on the head. He said, I got a little too, but hard work, planning, and budgeting always wins. Crypto is for disposal. Exactly. That's the same way I do it. I would not go put my money in crypto before I put it in, my savings or investment for retirement, something like that. Crypto is for more money I don't mind losing.
What's wrong, Complex?
Complex Design. What's up, man?
I'm not at my laptop anymore, so let me drop this in chat. Yeah, but that's what it's about. Like we was never about trying to do that. And they were always, where we're just gonna wait for our shot, chance, and opportunity. On a wave. They would listen in, they're like, man, where is this $1 million information? It's like, what are you doing, man?
What wasn't there also someone I feel like who came on? I feel like he was a dude who worked in IT, and I think he moved to somewhere in like Southeast Asia. I want to say like Taiwan or something. And he talked about, I think, listening to the Brain Trust and how he invested in, I think it was Tesla. Like I think he said we turned him on to Tesla, and this was back when. This is what I want to say about a year ago. We were still doing constant live streams.
Yeah, when Tesla was down for that little period of time, man, a lot of people jumped on Tesla.
Yeah. Even before then, I think he got in. I think I remember him getting in probably around maybe 300-400. Because I mean, it had two real pops. It had the pop where it went to like 800, and then it hit 1,000. And now it's at like I believe like 1,200. So I remember him specifically saying back then, like, listen to us talk, that, you know, he had made a bunch of money off of Tesla because we had sort of got him to look into that. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, real implications out there for, you know, the things we talk about.
And this is other thing too that people want. They want to be around the nonsense, and then they want the actual tether of productive people being there. And then they jump around productive people, and then once we leave, they go back around the nonsense. So with them just being on 100% nonsense, they don't have the tether there to kind of tether them to reality about what they need to be doing. Like, man, come on, man. Bro, at the end of the day, man, you already decided what you want to do with the information. Oh, okay. Yeah, but that's where we at, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with the brain trust. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that, dude, we're in the ideal phase. And in the ideal and the production phase, there's really less time to do shit.
Truth
Like
be
right
told,
now.
truth
Yeah,
be
go ahead.
told, a lot of these cats need to go back and review the content we put out just to get up to speed. Like,
But that's the thing, man. Like, they don't want to review the content. They just want the value out of the content. They don't want to go through anything.
Because some of that stuff, even though it's aged, is still relevant. I mean, you start talking about the tech talks that Mike used to do on Saturday, or the fatherhood talks that Complex started doing. That stuff is like, I mean, yeah, there may be some updated things in the tech world, but I mean, the general principles are still there when he starts talking about resources and things you can go take advantage of. I mean, especially now that during COVID, when you start talking about, you know, how many jobs are work from home, and just the shortage of IT in general, like whether it be in coding or, like you said, desktop support, all of those things. I'm actually taking a class right now, learning Python.
Yeah. And it was always going to be centered around the people who was going to be taking some sort of action, man, with the information. Like, look, man, we see the analytics. We see where the people go. I get it, man. but don't come after the productive people. Like, we need to be doing more. When you don't expect more out of relationship talk people. When you don't require more out of the community savior people. We need to do more? Nah, man. Nah, man, we're not doing that. Information is there for people who want to move their life in another direction. Here's the thing. We didn't force people to try to move anywhere. It's an at-will kind of environment, man. What's going on, Doc Phoenix?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Oh, doing
Hey,
all right,
what's
man.
up, Dr. Phoenix? That was a nice one-on-one breakdown you did with Mike on the Progressive Brothers podcast. I think that's great information to get out there.
Sure. Yep.
No, thank you. No, I just wanted to just add really quickly to what you and MOT were talking about. And, you know, there were just so many conversations about various industries and trends within various industries on the Black Brain Trust, at least in the short time that I was involved with some of those discussions that were discussed. And, you know, again, a lot of pretty much all of that information that was disseminated, that was all of those discussions that were had on panels, all of that stuff is very much relevant in it was relevant then and certainly relevant today. And I probably would say is even more relevant today given the environment we're finding ourselves in. And I myself, even the conversations I had with Mike B, Complex, on panels about healthcare, about careers in healthcare, careers in scientific research and stuff like that. These are things that pretty much everything I've ever talked about at those during those discussions were all true. All of it came true. Even some of the one-on-ones I had over on other channels like TPOT. I told him last year around the beginning of last year that it was I would not be surprised if you started to see the government make vaccines when they were developed into a mandate. I said that over on his channel over a year ago, and here we are at near the end of 2021, and their mandates all over the place. So again, a
Now,
lot of the things that were discussed on the Black Brain Trust, you know, long before I ever came along and whatever, you know, these things were relevant. These things, you know, as far as I'm concerned, these guys were were prophets of sorts, and they predicted a lot of the trends that we see today. And again, you know, there's a library of stuff to go over. There's no need to continue to talk about this. You know, I won't discuss any of these issues ever again, because I did 2 4-hour long hangouts with Mike V, and that's all I need to do. If you couldn't get what you needed from that, I can't help you.
now, I was going to say, Dr. Phoenix, I actually remember it's coming up on 2 years. I remember right when this thing broke out, we were on a panel, and I remember you talking about like basically the COVID, and you know, places like barbershops and things like that being petri dishes for the vaccine to spread. I'm sorry, for the for COVID to spread, for the virus to spread, as well as like, you know, gyms. And I mean, this was back at the time when people were talking about you know, Black people couldn't get it and stuff like that. So I mean, I remember all that, and I remember you talking about, hey, vaccine, you know, it's gonna be a while. We're gonna be in this for a couple of years. Like, I mean, we could go back and find the stream. I remember all of that to a T. Now that you're here talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Emilton. I'm sorry.
And it's like, if you don't understand something, just ask. You ain't got to slander the space, bro. I don't understand it. It's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, again, you know, I'm, you know, you, like myself and like other brothers that were involved with the Black Brain Trust, I'm not here to spoon feed dudes. I'm really not. You know, at the end of the day, you're all grown. All of us here are adults. And again, if this isn't the life you want, then this just isn't for you. No one shouldn't have to force you to do anything. They don't have to spoon feed you. This is not the Reading Rainbow. You have to sit down for reading time and listen to people read off articles. No, that's not what this is. Essentially, there's going to have to be a sense of self-motivation among Black men. Again, if the only thing that motivates, you know, the average Black male in this space is, you know, relationships, which is something I have never discussed, or whatever, you know, and things of revolving around interpersonal interactions and relationships. You know, again, those things are just, we're clearly seeing that how those things have just become irrelevant over the past year and a half, 2 years now. So
yeah, I think it the crazy thing that I've just noticed in here, but in general, you have so many people who their end goal for improvement, or for, you know, be it, you know, getting their financial situation together, whatever, is either for females, or they just want to show off to people in general. And like once you realize that, and you really see how many people are motivated by that, and you move beyond it, it's sort of mind-boggling at times. Because a lot of times, you know, there's an old quote that, you know, people work hard to buy things to impress people that they don't even like. And it's just like, you really see that quote brought into fruition in life, and just how many people are not like self-motivated for, you know, family, legacy, personal reasons, all of that, and just how much people are driven by, like you said, the lower vibration of things at times.
yeah, you know, right now, I've actually kind of taken a little detour, because I'm also in a master's program right along with my medical education. So and it's ironic, because you were talking about you're leaving, you had left Atlanta and you went to Maryland, I think you said, Renaissance Man.
Yeah, right outside of DC.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta right now, and I don't know how people can live here. This place is one of the most interesting places I've been to. It's been a long time since I was last here, but I don't know how people can live here on the long term. There is so much shenanigans going on with Black folks here.
Yeah.
That's just me being nice about it.
Now,
And like,
when was the
like
last time
I
you
don't
were
know how
there?
people do it here. Yeah,
No, when
I've
was the
been here for
last time
about
you
a
were there
little over a
before
month,
here?
man, and I'm telling you, man, the shenanigans going on with Black folks here is off. Yeah, it's off the
Wait.
chain.
No, when was the last time you were here before like this month? Like, was it like 5 years or there? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
like
it was
5 years ago,
it
10
was
years
about 5
ago?
years ago. It had been about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, right around that. Yeah.
Okay, now it has. I've been talking to people. It has. They've said it's gotten worse. Just like all sorts of things, just gone. Like, because I left in 20. Like I said, I left there beginning of 2019, late 2018, to move here.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk to people who still live there, they've said like things have gotten crazier as far as just like the crime and just people doing outlandish stuff, whether it be like street racing, like in the middle of the day, or just all sorts of stuff. Like you said, if you're not there,
Yeah.
Atlanta is one of those cities. If you're not there for business, like that city will eat you alive because there's so much, just like you said, just so much foolishness to get sucked up into if you're not there and focused.
Yeah, again, I mean, Atlanta seems to be, well, let me rephrase this. What I've observed on YouTube in this sector of YouTube over the last, about a couple years now, Atlanta seems to be the outward expression of that. And so, like I said, I've been here for about a little over a month now, and I'm doing this. I'm taking some time off from my medical studies so I can finish up this master's, and and actually the master's in, if anyone wants to know, is actually in bioinformatics and computational biology. So lots of computer science and genomics and stuff like that. So, but the point is that it's just what I've seen here is exactly what I've observed in the online in this sector of YouTube with many of the Black males. I see this in real time on a daily basis here in Atlanta. So it's just crazy. Never seen anything like it.
What's going on?
And I mean, you're from Chicago, right?
Yeah, I'm again, I'm used to being in the big city, craziness, but it's something different here. I don't know. It's just on a different scale here. The street racing is insane here. Like where I'm
What?
at,
Street racing?
oh man, it's insane here. Like
like on the interstate in the middle of,
yeah. I'm right up. I live close to the 400, and I'm telling you, like, yeah, right now I'm staying really close to the 400, and I'm telling you, like every night, man, street racing, it's crazy out here. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, shootings on the interstate. I've heard that's up. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I think part of it too is Atlanta has that whole Hollywood. It's got an element of, it's like Los Angeles in the sense of it's got like quote unquote Black Hollywood. So you got a lot of people who move there to try to get involved in like either the movie industry or the music industry. So you get that whole element of like, plus it's a party city. Plus it's like all these people from like small town America, like in the Southeast, who want to get out of where they're living, move to the big city. Then you got all the transplants from other cities who move there. So it's just like you said, it brings a wilder element. And then it's relatively cheap to live for a big city, or there's so much like suburban area outside of it that you can live in relatively cheaply.
Yeah,
it is going up. The rents and things are, but that tends to be more in the perimeter. But all of those things come together, and you, like you said, you just get a wild element.
Yeah, like this place is like the scam capital of the country. Like there's like you if you turn on the nightly news here, you just hear report after report of just Negroes scamming, just all kinds of scams here. Like everything from real estate to crypto to you name it. I mean the level of foolishness and chicanery that goes on here in Atlanta is, yeah. Like I said, it's been a few years since I was last here, and I came here to finish up a graduate program, and I've never seen any, in the short time I've been here, I haven't seen anything quite like it. The only thing that I can think of is kind of some of the experience, some of the foolishness I've seen going on in this sector of YouTube. So
let me answer this question. Do you think forward-thinking Black people should keep supporting the Democratic Party, especially after they are purposefully giving illegals who were separated $450 per person? I like immigration. I want these unproductive motherfuckers outnumbered. I don't give a shit about that. You know, should you support the conservative movement who don't have a place for you at all? I mean, yeah, when you have power, you can get compensated for things that happen to you when you organize as a group. But when you don't organize as a group and expect shit out of a process that you don't participate in, then you don't get shit out of it. That's how that works. And before this actual thing on the screen, I don't know. It's you have to understand that. Look, you have to understand the limits of what politics is supposed to fix for people. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand either. So if I lived in like a western portion of the United States, like further west than actual Colorado and not really California, yeah, I would have to do business with the more libertarian version of the Republican Party. I don't have a problem with it. But all politics are local. Our stuff works fine. Why? Job training. And who's for job training? The Democratic Party is. And who's for not having that stuff? People who live out in the middle of nowhere and they don't have any services. And that's why our stuff is nice in a different metro area. But if you take your ass down to more further east and like Lyman, Colorado, and like there ain't nothing out there. No investment. End of the day, I don't give a shit about what immigrants are getting from the government. It don't bother me at all. They shouldn't have did that messed up shit to them in the first place. And when you organize and you have power as a group, you can make some people pay you back whenever they do shit wrong.
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, it is. It's like, okay, so here's the thing. I could tell that you're not invested in any party at all because you haven't talked about any type of issues on any panel that you've been on. But you want to make it look like you're involved in politics by just pointing one thing out. Oh, this is what illegals are getting. Like, dude, there's thousands of things on the table. That's not the only thing that's happening within politics today. That's the thing that you notice. But that's not how politics work. Like, you want to look involved in a process that you're clearly not invested or involved in. It doesn't even matter what city you're in. At this point, things are so polarized. You got to prove that you're organizing on the right or that you're organizing in the middle. Because if you can actually prove that you're actually doing that, you wouldn't be asking questions like this. Yes, I think you still should support whatever party you want to locally for yourself. But I don't know. I don't really care about that. At the end of the day, the business is going to need to be done by these businesses here. And they're going to hire other people other than people who want to stagnate at the bottom and focus on relationships. I don't see you taking your ass over there to these relationship channels and asking them to focus on more serious things. But at the end of the day, that's what it is, man. I don't care. I want them to replace you. Yes. Go ahead.
Well, no, I think the other thing too that people missing all this, and that's my whole thing with the ADOS movement is people act like are so narrow-minded at times that they don't think that that politics plays some role in this. Like when you start, like they're not just giving money to immigrants just because they want to and they feel sorry. They understand a bigger picture, a bigger game that they are trying to play politically, and like that's what I don't like. I get it, but that's what I think a lot of people who get in these movements don't understand is they're like, oh, well, these people, they're pandering to immigrants, they're pandering to Hispanics. Yes, they're pandering to them because they are a growing demographic in the country. They are people who are going to be a political powerhouse. And I'm like, you have so many people who literally got the mentality. Yeah, they're engaged
Most
in the process.
importantly.
But here's the thing, MOT. You got people who literally think that, oh well, because I went out and voted not every 2 years, once every 4 years, and I may have not even done that, that all of a sudden, well, what are we gonna get? And I'm like, see, that's the thing. Other groups have an agenda already formed. They know what they want. In some cases, I'm sure these bills have already been pre-written. So it's like, oh, you want our vote? Here's the bill we want passed. We'll come out and vote, and we'll support X amount of dollars for your campaign. Like, and then we'll be there to come and testify when the bill is in conference committee on how it's going to, hurt or benefit us. We'll be there to support it along the way. And then you have other people saying, well, we voted and we got nothing. And I'm just like, dude, you have to be engaged with the process. Like, voting is bare minimum.
Yeah, no, and what MOT and
Yeah.
you just said when something like,
Wait, hold on a second.
okay.
John Henry Tour. The reason why you believe in this foundational Black American shit is because you were fucking stupid. Yes, if you believe in this ADOS FBA shit, you're a fucking moron. Organization without participation is fucking foolishness. Yeah, that's what that is. You call yourself a foundational Black American based on a guy who's not even politically organizing himself, who's nothing but a public troll. Good Lord.
Yeah,
Uh,
I ain't got no comment because I already know where that came from, but
uh,
I'll just say this much. At the end of the day, as I discussed with Mike V about a week or so ago, uh, in our discussion, look, at the end of the day, as MOT and Renaissance Man were just mentioning, if you're not invested in this process, ain't nothing's gonna happen. These other folks, yeah, they're gonna be the politicians are gonna be interested in these other immigrant groups. Why? Because yeah, they have an agenda, and more importantly, they have money. They're not coming empty-handed. It's no different than when I told Mike V, yeah, Black folks want something that looks like health equity in the medical system. Yeah, you're gonna have to build it. You're not just gonna have to build it. You're gonna have to invest. You're gonna have to make an investment in your children and make sure they become the people that you claim that are mistreating you so horribly. You want physicians and nurses that won't leave you sitting in the ER for hours on end bleeding to death. Yeah, you have to force your kids into these professions. That's the way it works. That's the way everybody else does. Okay. The
what they
Hmong
did, they got to the
in
productivity.
Wisconsin, yeah, they didn't go from being one of the most being one of the least being one of the most underserved populations in the upper Midwest to now they're having their own schools and their own programs, and they're practically taking over schools like systems like University of Wisconsin and University of Minnesota. Why? For a small little subset of a Southeast Asian group. But these folks are moving, but they understood where their deficiencies were, and they made sure that the generations at the next generation and generations after that are moving in a direction and moving into the fields where they need to be to have the most benefit for their group. So again, just talking about and following behind people that, yeah, following a ghost sounds nice, but just that a ghost is just that, someone who sits in the background and talks, nothing more, nothing less.
I mean, we haven't even got nothing out of the term African American, and motherfuckers want to go and attach themselves to FBA like that shit is going to help you. God damn, how dumb you got to fucking be. Call yourself any of this shit. If you haven't got any benefits of the group that you're a part of, why would you just join another group and still not participate in the process? It makes no sense. It's not a gang. If you participate in high numbers, like we did starting off, once we got the right to do so, things will be different. But we can't talk about, it's always this kind of sliding scale of, man, what would I do this is like, okay, man, nobody needs your vote. You're not participating. It's cool.
Yeah. Can you highlight Jay Shine's comment in the chat, MOT? Exactly.
What do you mean? I did the Dougie. What? I'm supposed
Look,
to
I
get
mean,
reparations because I did the Dougie. Like, all right, man. All right, man.
the periods where Black folks were the most socially and politically active are the periods that they had the most growth, as that we've had the most growth as a group.
Yep. Reconstruction.
I mean, at the end of the day, Black folks have been really apathetic about over the past decade or so, well, really the past couple decades, Black folks have been apathetic about our situation. Why? Because what everyone's having to compete against immigrants. Okay,
Everyone.
Yes. It's not just Black folks. Yeah, it's not just Black folks. White folks are having to compete. Everyone having to compete. That's just the nature of the world we live in today. You live in a world where currency is valued in knowledge and the production from that knowledge. And again, if Black folks are just talking and producing nothing other than some talking points and doing a let me just wait and see approach, again, the world is just going to pass you by, and that's what's happening.
And what it was is that having these people at the protected bottom and not really giving them any competition has really made people real stagnant around this piece, man. But that's what it is. And it's like, listen, you have to be involved locally, man. And it's like, well, I'll be involved whenever they get me something. What they gonna give me? I'm like, okay, man, there's a limit to what you're supposed to get out of your participation. You just can't take one part of the bill out. Like, okay, how do you skip over the infrastructure bill that had free local community college in it to be focused on Latinos? Insanity.
Man, look,
it's so easy to be invested and involved, man. It's really no excuse not to. Dude, if you don't like to vote, it comes to your house by mail, and people still don't participate. So that's just where I'm at with it,
man. No, you're right, MOT. Look, I'll be frank. I'll be really frank with you. At the collegiate level, yeah, the Latinos are getting all the priority. If I'm just gonna be honest with you, you got folks who are not even citizens who got more scholarships than Black folks. Why? Because Black folks don't use the damn scholarships. Black folks don't use it. They sit around, they jaw jack and BS around, and then other groups come in and take what you ain't using, and that's just the way it is. You keep what you kill.
I mean, because at the end of the day, man, they want a productive society. You can't decide that a whole demographic of people is just not going to produce. Dude, they're gonna bring some new blood in here. They're gonna need that damn tax revenue. How they gonna get that tax revenue if your ass ain't productive? Let's just give other people the opportunity to be productive. And if they're gonna hit it out of the park, and if you're just gonna sit around and not do shit, then you're gonna get lapped. That's what it is. I'm on some meritocracy shit. I'm not trying to bring most of these people along. They had 50 years, 1970 to 2020. You have 50 years to prove your point. They're gonna move along to other people, man.
Look, I think at the end of the day, nobody wants to see this, but these things are all inevitable. I mean, look, this is the effect of globalization. All of these things are inevitable. You can't have. We're pretty much, we call it the fourth industrial age. I mean, this is the age of technology we're living in. Everyone is affected by this. There is not one person that's affected that is not affected by what's going on. And certainly the past 22 months now, living through this pandemic has just pretty much put everything in hyperdrive. So, people are talking about this is a great reset. No, this is not a great reset. It's not a reset that's going on. There were things that were already on the horizon prior to this pandemic. The pandemic just put everything in hyper speed. So the trajectories that we saw that was going on. Look, it is all kinds of stuff. I was looking at I was reading an article about a program that was a Verizon had, that Verizon was actually paying for were actually having paid internships for folks who were interested in areas of data scientists, data science. Amazon has a massive program for retraining their employees in those technology areas of software engineering, data science, number of things. Okay, number of things that are relevant in a number of industries that are relevant in the 21st century. But again, when you look at who are utilizing these programs, for the most part, is not Black folks. Black folks are sitting on the sideline. Everyone else is taking advantage of.
Yeah, it's just at the end of the day, man. It's time to move, man. It's time to move. We don't have time for this. At the end of the day, the people are just gonna flock to what they want to flock to, man. So you just can't go around slandering the space because you couldn't get relationship talk out of something that was not set up for that. Everything's not set up to be corrupted and turned into nonsense because you can't move nowhere forward from the conversation, man. Like, that's really not what it's about all the time.
You know,
And
really.
man, I'm like, look, man, I want people to do better, way better. Can't control what they do with it, but at the end of the day, if you want to be a group, you got to participate like a group. When you ask certain type of questions in certain type of ways in certain type of formats, it make you look like you're not invested, but you want to benefit off of everybody else direction. Everybody don't have time to be dividing their 100% against zero numbers, man. We don't need to be a 66% group or a 33% group because people didn't want to participate. Because if you're not participating in regular society and life, nothing else is going to happen, man. That's it. I mean, it's really not that difficult. What's going on, LOM?
What's up, fam? Just listening in on the conversation, and I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, nobody's going to stay. I mean, nobody's going to stay the same. Like the world is changing, time is changing. I mean, staying stagnant is basically suicide at this point. I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta move, man. Like, bro, I want to like the last time I've been home, man. It's like there are literally zero jobs there outside the two factories that are left. Like, I don't know how that state or that city is supporting that amount of people with only a couple of hundred jobs between two places. I don't understand how there's 37,000 people in a place like that. I don't understand it.
God, that's crazy, man. I mean, that's nuts, man. I mean, damn, I thought it was rough over here over here on the East Coast, but shit.
Yeah, so that's what I'm at with it. It's really not difficult, and we got to make sure, man, that we're moving this thing somewhere. Because this place is going to change. The look of it is going to change too. The demographic shift is real, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it may sound like relationship talk, but it isn't. If you can't formulate productive families, if both of the genders have been socialized to stay away from each other because of the consequences of the things falling out, and then you have another culture of people who walk in with intact households who participate on a level higher than you, a generation and a half, you're going to be out of here.
Gone.
Well, look, it's not even like that. I tell you right now, here in Atlanta, I don't care what anybody tell you. They tell you that Atlanta is this black mecca. Atlanta is not a black mecca.
No, it is not. That place is not a black mecca. That place. Let me tell you something. ATL is a sleaze pit. I've been there 3 times, man. I fuck that place. I'm done. I don't want to go there.
No, look, the money is in the hands of whites, Asians, and Latinos. And it's funny because this isn't my first merry-go-round here in Atlanta. I came to Atlanta about a little over a decade ago. And if you would have came to Atlanta back in the early around 2009, 2007, something like that, you would not have found a Latino there that was not that wasn't illegal. Now they are all legal residents. Yep. Their kids are all at schools like Georgia Tech and Emory and University of Georgia and stuff like that. And these folks are out earning black folks, have managed to out earn black folks in about 10 years.
I believe it too, man. Here you are, that entire subdivisions with Latinos down there too. Yeah, I know about it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I took my car to a car wash about a couple weeks ago. Ain't nothing but Latinos there. Nothing but Latinos.
Yeah. I mean, where I live, a lot of the kitchen and bath and counter warehouses, most of the workers there and technicians there are Latinos. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, yeah. You'll find one or two marble and counter technicians that are black, like here and there, but for the most part, it's Latino.
Yeah, Edson, man, you're right, because I know a lot of people stay in Atlanta, and none of those people even associate with at all with the Foxtrot November crowd. They don't, because they say, man, the level of it's too much for one year.
Exactly. Why would they, man?
Yeah, man, but look, this place is gonna get cleaned out. It's time for people to become productive. And if you ain't got no skill, you're just gonna be left behind, man. And
exactly.
It's okay. It's okay.
But, exactly. That's why, exactly, and like you've been saying, focus on skills and abilities, man. You said to the younger crowd, and I preach that on my channel. Focus on skills and abilities, man. To hell with relationships. You call them relationships, I call them relationships. Focus on skills and abilities.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah,
hey, I have to take off, MOT. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I got to go back in here and go get this paperwork as well. Right. So you got anything else before we get up out of here, Doc Phoenix?
No, I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. Like I said, everything I've had to say, I said over on the Black Brain Trust. So ain't nothing more for me to say. So thanks for having me, brother.
All right, cool. Lionel Mixtape, you got anything else before we get up out of here?
No, I'm good. I'm headed to the gym. Thanks for having me, MOT. Thank you.
All right, cool. Renaissance man, you got anything else before we get up out of here? Oh, you're still on mute. I just want to thank y'all for coming through, man. The reason why I came to the Manosphere was not for entertainment, is for moving things forward, because I seen this stuff coming a long time ago. You can see it. If you're out here traveling, you can see it. Like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, in like Colorado, these people were immigrants. They were here. They was working in food service industries. Now their kids are in college. And I'm not talking about unskilled labor college. We're talking about hitting things over the head, like good stuff. These people are gonna be highly productive out the gate. 20-some years. And it's like, they're not going to wait. I'm telling you, man, these people are gonna take this money, they're gonna have this stuff, and they're gonna be fine within these cities. The people who are stagnating behind are not gonna be able to catch up. Exactly. So with that said, there's nothing wrong with the Black Ranger. The only thing that it was is a actual place and time where you had the information there that's now going to go somewhere else. That's all it was. There's no reason to talk about it because we didn't formulate the space for that. I wouldn't have been a part of it if it wasn't no productive man type stuff.
Exactly.
So now we're putting it into the idea phase. And now the things in the idea phase, they want to bring you back to the talking about it phase. I'm like, the talking about it, no, ain't nobody.
It's done. No, we're done, man. We're done, man. Just you go out there and you get it yourself, man. I mean, like, I'm doing my thing with the hauling plumbing fixtures and LED lights, man. I'm learning a shit ton and hauling that stuff, man. I'm ready to buy my own truck. I have almost about 30K. 35K. I'm still stacking, man. I'm working my ass off. You're talking about waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday. I'm killing it, man. I'm kicking ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. And this opportunity is there for everybody who wants to be a part of it, man. I'm just saying, man.
Oh yeah.
Participate in society, man. Don't sit around and mess this stuff up because I just don't get it. Thanks for the $4.99 Johnny Blaze. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's like all these people were already in fields, talking about the fields that they were in and the trends that where it was going. That's all it was. And it was like most of these people didn't just go off talking about stuff that they didn't know about. So, look, man, if you're trying to look involved, I'm not going to respect it, man. You'll get clowned out here, man. People are not looking involved out here. They're actually getting involved.
Yep.
You can't just be pointing fingers out to other groups that got way more power than you. But look at them getting somewhere they go. Like, all right,
I don't worry about that. Me personally, I don't worry about that shit. I focus on getting mine and my own, man. Focus on making bread fed. Focus on you. Yep.
That's what I'm saying, man. So with that said, I want to thank everybody for coming through. Doc Phoenix, Renaissance Man, and Lion and MGTOW. You guys have a really nice day, man. There's nothing wrong with the brain trust. The information is there. And if you want to get involved, the Tech Talks is still there. The actual community tab post is still there. Those sites still exist. If you want to get involved in all this stuff, man, you're not waiting on the Black Brain Trust to make a live stream in order for you to get involved and do the shit that you need to be doing. That's not no. You have to already be involved in stuff, man. So thank y'all for coming through, and y'all have a really nice day. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. You guys have a really great afternoon.